Yeah, we're over here. We're rolling already. You ready?
Oh, we are. I guess we are, huh?
Yeah, we got to start with your song.
Oh.
Let's go.
I feel like so special. I have my own song.
No, you got your own song.
I know, but it's like weird.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Oh, yes, we got to get over here. Let's go. We're live, my friends. Hey, come on. Hey, y'all need to get on here because y'all know when y'all see this face right next to me, it's going down so we can help y'all go up. So let's go. This is her song. We're going to get it.
Are you going to go fast? Oh, it's getting hot here. I gotta take it off.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yeah, she's filling off layers.
I don't need to see that. No, don't need to see that. I'm so sorry. So sorry. I had to take it off.
Hey,
Cold
she's
outside,
already.
but hot in here.
That's right.
That's cold outside, but hot.
It is hot here. It is hot in here, y'all, and it's about to get hotter. Hey, welcome from the East, West, and all the rest. We're gonna give you not our good, but our best. So you guys need to get some zip in your hips, some slide in your glide. We are ready to go because I got it right by my side. Drum roll. Just gonna jump in. Some of y'all need an intro.
Huh?
Some people need it.
Some people need an intro?
Yeah. They need it. You need to be intro.
Okay, go ahead. You do it. You're the professional.
Okay, yeah. That's right. That's what they say. Some people do. Well, she's often imitated but never quite duplicated. She's first to many and absolutely second to none in more spaces than one. She got some zip in her hip and some slide in her glide, and I got her right here by my side to help you thrive. Right here live.
Is Casey Kasem in the house? That looks like a back in the day thing, right? Casey Kasem.
Casey K-Roll. None other than thee, Mrs. Talkalicious, also known as, or should I say, your name first and then who you also know. It
doesn't matter.
Christine Saldivar. Come on, y'all. Let's go. Yes. She was riding shotgun. Yes. Guys, I am so excited. You know, this is your first drop in for the year.
Yeah, Happy New Year.
Well, same to you.
Are you still saying Happy New Year to people?
You know what? I don't know if there's a cutoff date. When exactly is the cutoff date?
July. Just
Yes. Some of y'all may think that that's probably is the case. Where it's like July that you cut off saying the Happy New Year stuff. But I don't know, guys. I just keep going until it doesn't feel comfortable anymore.
I think Valentine. I don't know. Maybe before Valentine's Day. It's getting kind of old now because now we've given up the diets. We've been divorced because you have the second day of divorce. We've already lost our resolutions, and we're back to ourselves again.
Okay, maybe it has to. Maybe we should correlate. Let's go ahead and go on record right now. Let's correlate. When do we stop saying, New Year stuff and sharing your resolutions for those of you who do resolutions and commitments and stuff like that? When do we stop that? Okay, we take our Christmas lights down when?
I take mine off in January, down in January.
January what?
6th, 7th, whatever the weekend is after the 1st.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I think nowadays everyone rushes to put up the lights or that, you get Christmas decorations at the stores in October. Mm-hmm. So everyone sets up early and they get sick of it. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. The wise men haven't even gotten there yet. Let's wait till everybody gets there. So
Christmas, if you're like me, I think Christmas comes earlier and earlier every year. And so
yes,
it's like we even skip Thanksgiving and we skip all them other days. It's like you start putting stuff up, and I'm like, hold on, y'all, hold on. It's gonna have its time. My wife like to maximize the time with Christmas lights up.
Yes.
So she's like, day after
get them up.
Thanksgiving.
You better get on that ladder and take care of that.
And I'm like, come on, y'all, we get it.
I'm good with the decorate. I met somebody recently, and I thought it was a great thing that they did is they decorate, but they don't decorate their tree until Christmas Eve, and that became their family thing. And they decorate it and get prepared for.
Really?
Yeah, they just kind of prepared for the birth.
Christmas Eve.
Christmas Eve. That became their Christmas Eve tradition because when they were younger, they were really poor, and so they had to kind of wait for the trees to go on sale.
Oh,
because
nowadays, like the day before,
towards as it gets closer to Christmas, the live Christmas trees would get less and less expensive.
But
I actually thought that was a neat thing because if you think about it, especially as your kids get older. When
Yeah.
they're younger, you know, you want the tree up and get excited about Santa. But, you know, as they're older, you have to think of new ways of doing things. And I thought it was a neat thing to go around and eat. And, you know, they did their thing and then they decorated the tree and then they opened presents the next day, which I thought was nice. I thought it was something different.
Well, I don't think that will really fly in my household because on Christmas Eve is when we actually do most of our present opening and stuff like that. So if we're setting the tree up and then we're going to open, well, maybe that could work, but I mean, it's like, I don't know, maybe I think I'm crazy, but I think the real enjoyment of it is seeing the tree decorated for as long as possible. And so I think the day before is like
too much. Well, if it means anything, this year we were so busy trying to get everything done. We had the tree up, we had the lights on it, and we had the garland and the bow on top.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't get the decorations on until like a week and a half before Christmas, but we lit it up every night. I lit it up every night. It was fun. The holidays are fun.
I agree, and I remember as a kid that I really loved when we had lights up, and we didn't have many lights, y'all. And so we'd have our little lights up, and I'd go outside at night, just stand in the front yard, and I go, and it was literally, we had a picture window, and we'd have lights around the picture window, and we'd have the curtains peeked open, and we'd have a little old video, Peanuts, Charlie Brown, Christmas tree. Y'all remember the fake ones that were made of tinsel or something like that? They were like silver.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, we used to have one of those.
No, you did not.
We did. I kid you not. And I don't know where my dad stole it. I mean, where my dad got it from. I'm kidding.
Your dad's gonna
I'm kidding. Dad, I'm kidding. You know,
I've heard about your daddy. You better watch out. He'll reach through the computer and come
That's
snap
right. My dad's like, hey, you're never too old for me to come and snatch you up.
Isn't that funny? Isn't that crazy, though? Is no matter how old you are as a child, you are always somebody's child. Yes.
That's true.
You know, my boys they'll be 60 and I could be 90 and they'll still be my children. I'll be like, are you okay? What do you need? Are you okay?
But that's, you know what, that's a good segue to what I said, you know what, I need to show this picture.
Okay.
For those of you on Facebook, you'll get to see this photo right here. This is my son, Chance. It's my baby boy. And so he literally came to me the other day. I just posted this on Facebook today. If you're on Instagram, guys, you got to go over to Facebook and check this out. You just can't see it. But he comes to me standing like this here when we was getting ready for an event because he likes to assist me at my events when I'm speaking and stuff. And so he comes in, hey, Dad, do I need to iron this? And so I didn't even say that. I thought he was playing. But it turns out he was serious. I just bust out laughing. Then I grabbed the camera and I took this picture. I didn't even have to respond. I said, dude, let me just take the picture of this because this is just hilarious. The picture doesn't do it any justice.
But that's the boy. That's a teenage boy.
Yes.
Until he gets somebody in his life that he loves. And then all of a sudden he'll be like, I need to look good. I always wait for girls to sniff around. So hopefully my boys will like groom themselves.
Well, technically I must say, he has a little girlfriend now.
Oh, she's not accept wrinkled shirts.
Yo, I don't think so. I'm like, whoa. And I looked at that and I was like, if he's really serious, which he was, should we be worried about the next generation? not just their fashion sense, but I mean, is this like indicative of the other levels of stuff that they just don't get, or we didn't teach it properly, or? Well,
okay, that's interesting you said that, because one of my main pet peeves in life is why, and if you do this, why do you go out into the stores or out in public in your pajamas?
Oh, I do see that too.
Yes, and now that pot's legal in California, I was at the mall and it was like 1 o'clock in the afternoon and someone's got their pajamas on and they reeked. They were having an afternoon. I'm like, don't you got a job? Don't you need to be
something, or at least dress like you may have a job?
Yeah, even if you were to smoke out and do nothing all day, can you at least like look like you brushed your teeth? And I know I always feel like embarrassed, like if I had to do like the kids, if it was raining or something, or we're doing drop off, and I was like, oh, I tried to put a baseball cap on, at least a sweatshirt,
right?
At least a sweatshirt, top hat. Now, if something happened in my car, then I would be in big trouble because I had to get out. They'd be like, what the heck is the Christian?
I've even thought about that. I've even thought about that, where it's like, you know, hey, if I'm going just to drop my kid off here, do I need to be concerned that I may have an accident and then have to get out and I got on like something I would never want to be caught dead wearing in public?
Oh, it's the same thing. Like, I always think, oh my gosh, like when I had a cycling accident, you know, a few years back, like 7 years ago, and thank God, I kept thinking, thank God I shaved my legs. I you think, or like as I was teaching my, as I was teaching my son to drive, and so there's a busy street. And you can go about 55 on it here in town. And we have a lot of homeless. I mean, they talk about that here in California about the homeless.
Yeah.
So there's this woman that's, basically looks like her pajamas, and she's waving her arms and stuff. And I told my son, you got to be careful of homeless people because they'll just walk out in the street and you don't want to hit them because that will, like not in a crosswalk or whatever. Then I looked up like, oh my gosh, it was a regular woman who was in a car accident, but I think she was wearing her pajamas still.
Really?
But I confused her for homeless. I thought I need to be careful about what I wear. Well, because I was trying to teach him a lesson to make sure you pay attention if there's somebody in the median, because she was in the median, but she was waving her hands. And we have a lot of homeless around, and so they do act erratically. And I didn't know, so I was like, gotta be careful, son, you gotta pay attention, you might want to get over, let somebody else, don't be closest to them, move over a couple lanes in case they step out in front of you.
And it's even scary to hear that your son's driving.
He's doing good. The second kid, Lord have mercy. Got a frog in my throat. That's
always one of them. That's one of the kids that's like, oh my gosh. Chase just passed her written test. My baby girl Chase. I don't have a picture of her loaded right here, but just go. You search my Facebook. And I took a picture the other day and posted it. It said DMV selfies. OMG DMV. And so it was kind of cute, but she knocked it out of the park. She got 42 right out of 46. And
awesome.
I was like, okay, this is just the written part, girl. Now you got to get that real part done, which is the driving part.
Yes.
And so
but I waited. Yeah, my son turned 18 over the holidays. And so we did an adulting day and we got him all set up. I feel comfortable. The second son, everyone says, oh, teach him. He will be taught, but I think he's going to need to Uber for a while. And after I put those insurance costs in there, one kid, one car, an extra $2,000 a year.
Oh,
$2,000 a year extra. And then it also upped our umbrella policy. I don't know if you guys have those, but yeah, so that upped it by another it doubled our umbrella policy. I'm like, this kid's cost me $2,500 and he isn't even driving yet.
Well, it's funny.
So I'm like, my kid wants to Uber? All right, I'll give you $1,500 a year. I'll give you $1,500 a year.
Guys, I am riding shotgun with Miss Talkalicious. She's right here in the place, and we're going over some really cool stuff that I know is going to be able to help you guys. We started off with a little bit of fun, but I got a real quick question for her on the other side of this break here. Yes, that's right. Yes, it's going to put you on the spot. But it's a good one. You already got the answer right inside of you. So we'll see you on that side of this break, guys. Stick around with us. We are making this thing happen. It's live at 12:05. We'll get you on the other side. Let's go. Let's get it. Come on. Oh. 24 magic.
I love it.
I love this. And he keeps it clean. Audience is so loud. I love Bruno Mars, and he keeps it clean for the most part. Now, he's got something that's like, Versace on the floor.
Oh, that's so sexy.
I love that song.
Me too. It's so sexy. It's a sexy song. Yeah, I love it. I love Bruno Mars.
For me. Okay, now, let me just say, if y'all think I'm silly or I'm goofy from time to time, you're never too old to, from time to time, act a little silly, a little goofy. It's okay? Because if you smile, you start realizing you got a little bit more things to smile about. I don't know.
I smile all the time.
Yes.
I smile all the time.
See?
Well,
you see?
Yeah. Well, I think, it's funny you said that because, with the kids today, their lives are so heavy because they're being told, oh, you're being suppressed or you're anxious, you have anxiety, you can't accomplish and you can't grow. And I just feel like our environment keeps all this negativity, and everyone always said, like, you can't dwell on it. You have to fix it, move on, and keep going. And I think that when you let yourself be weighed down, I think we forget at how heavy those words are, and that how they can stop you from smiling or laughing or taking a joke. Everyone's worried about being politically correct, but in this world, we're actually getting sadder, angrier, and feel despondent. And that's not the way that I want my life to be. So it's like you almost have to fight. you know, it's like you have to shut down the outside world in order to be able to cope with regular life, or else you'll just get sucked down that dream.
Oh my goodness, she is hitting the nail right on the head, because when it comes to, I say people wake up in the morning and sleepwalk through their day. What I mean by that is we live our lives, we tend to live our lives just from osmosis. It's like, you know, just we got this nice little set template that goes throughout the day, but it lacks the real intentionality of saying, okay, wait a minute, I'm going to do this. Like I like to say it this way: when you wake up in the morning, you make up your face and make up your hair, make up your mind too, that, hey, this is what I'm going to do different today, or this, I'm going to look for opportunities to do that. I'm going to do this and what have you. So when it comes to that, then now you're starting to set the expectation of what you want your day to be. And then those people that are around you, being able to encourage them, uplift them. And I mean, the stuff that I do this not for selfish reasons, it's for selfless. Yes. Do I get something out of it too? Absolutely, because it helps me when I feel like I'm a help and a blessing to other people. And speaking of other people, I'm gonna give you a shout out real quick here. I see y'all on Instagram. Hey, Prissy, I see you. Hey, oh, that's my little niece. She's on. Aww. Deja, hey girl, we call her Day Day.
Day. Oh, how cute.
Down there in the United States of Texas. And let me see on Facebook here, you guys. That's my nephew. It's all family, like saying.
The family.
Debbie Young Crawford is in the house. Also, let me see Daphne. Good to see you. Let me see Theron Freeberg. Good to see you, sir. Sheila Mock. Good to see you. Rick Strickland, Jessica, Chris, Tracy, Barbara, Raven. All of you. I can't say everybody because then we run out of time and y'all start signing off. But welcome. I am riding shotgun with none other than the Mrs. Talkalicious, also known as Christine Saldivar. Let me show a little quick picture of you guys for those of you who may not know her. But this is her little podcast that she has. Yes. It's called Talkalicious.
Talkalicious, yep.
Unapologetically me.
Well, I think kind of going back to what we were saying before about the kids and the humor, we just don't laugh. Or we have stereotypes for a reason, right? Stereotypes is a biological drive. It's that thing that back in the day when we had to hunt and gather and protect ourselves and our families, it helps you go, oh my gosh, I probably shouldn't eat this because, Edward over there died. You know, you put those things together, or behaviors to identify certain things, and it kept you safe. It's a biological thing. But now all of a sudden stereotypes are offensive. And it's like, well, but if you laugh at yourself and know, it helps you identify it. You dress a certain way, you talk a certain way with your friends, you do. Football has its own language. Readers have their fandoms, cosplays. You know, everybody has their own language. But if you can't learn to just laugh and have fun with it, you're going to get too heavy when we go back to those words. And so that's one of the things that we're, I told my boys, you just have to laugh at yourself and forget about it. Who cares?
And you know what? I'm going to applaud that. And I'm going to say, I say, okay, audience. I say this, that, as she's saying that, I'm like, as parents and being stewards of our kids, and having the duty and responsibility to be able to impart certain things upon them, I think one of the most important things that we may overlook is what she just said, is, giving them unbridled permission to smile or to be happy and to see that side. Yeah, it's okay for us to teach them how to overcome adversity and push through struggle and not be, a state of want or expectation all the time. Or maybe even entitlement. How about that one? But for us to say, hey, let me teach you how to smile. Maybe use a compliment every now and then. Look for the good in people and set those type of things too.
And the other part too on that one is also not allowing somebody who doesn't matter in your life, letting their words affect you. Yeah. Because, back in the day, when I was growing up, the big thing my mom would say, I got teased all the time. I was Krusty, I was Shamu, I was all sorts of names. I was
Krusty the Clown?
Crusty, because I was Christy. Because I was Christy.
Okay.
So I'd be like, Krusty McDonald. Just gave my maiden name. But yeah, so, just kids, it was that my mom would say, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. And then they found out, well, words do hurt. Yes. And I said, okay, they can. But I think in today's world, especially with the advent of social media and the way everybody puts themselves out there, is that do you give weight to words that shouldn't matter in your life? And meaning to the people who don't matter. Yeah. And that could be somebody because some people say things and you're like, well, they're an idiot anyway, so I'm not going to let them affect me. And in this world, I was telling my boys, right now it feels to me like we're catering to we have a bell-shaped curve, right? Life is a bell-shaped curve.
Okay.
So we're catering to the extremes. Most of us are here. We're just trying to feed our families, hang on to life, and hopefully find love and a partnership for the rest of our lives and grow old with somebody and be healthy. Right? We don't have time to get our panties in a ruffle over every little thing, you know?
Life's too short.
Life's too short. And I wanted to say one more thing that I thought was interesting when you were talking about the resolutions and making changes in your life. And I think the other part is when you said going through life, like you're just, what was your word that you
going
were
through the motions?
Well, go through the motions, but like zombie-ish, or what did you say? I say zombie.
Sleepwalking.
Sleepwalking through life. Okay, I do zombie walking, but you know, whatever. But I think the point is sometimes you don't even know you're sleeping.
I think that's spot on. Most of the time we don't.
We just learn to adapt to the environment that we're in, and we don't even realize until we try something new or find something new or see something new. And I think in this world where everyone wants to go back and change everything back here, we should be looking forward because you don't know what's around you to introduce you to something that might be more, to get you off of that zombie land.
I absolutely agree. It's like the blue pill and the red pill in the Matrix. I don't know if you guys have seen that movie, but I think, you know, that was based in science fiction, but there was some science fact stuff going on in there as far as I feel like, you know, we're in a matrix, and once you're given the opportunity to be educated on something, and because you never really know that you don't know until you know it, and then you realize you didn't know it.
Oh, my husband, when my husband and I were first married, he didn't know cinnamon had a place in the house. It belongs in a place. Or towels have to be folded a certain way. He didn't know until I told him. This is the way it goes. No,
but I agree. And such is life too, is in terms of how we do to improve upon oneself. It's like you don't really know what you don't know until you know it, and then you realize you didn't know it. So just back up and say, wait a minute, okay, I realize this dot in space represents what I know, and everything infinitely around that represents what I don't know. Now the catch is we need to invest our lives seeking the don't know so we can know it. Is that too deep?
No, it's not too deep. I think a perfect example of this, if you want to take away right now, is Meghan Markle and Prince Harry. They're a perfect example of a couple that have come together and they are shaking up each other's worlds or trying to figure things out, and they're introduced. Now, we don't know what's really going on. Let's be honest. I mean, you have all these media reports, right?
I don't know.
You don't know anything?
I don't know anything about I just heard like something, and then I heard nothing. So I don't know anything. Please educate me today.
So basically that Meghan Markle, who was an actress here, and she played on Suits, and she married Prince Harry, you know, everyone's
you guys know all about that?
Yes.
If you know about this, what she's talking about, say yes.
Google it. Just say yes.
Just type in yes.
Say yes. At least
get y'all to say
but
something.
The point is that, you know, he had this life that he was leading, and then he met somebody new and made him challenge his thinking. So you don't know who's going to challenge your thinking or challenge your way of life, and then hopefully you're coming together to add to each other's.
Right.
And
so
I think
what
we miss
happened?
an opportunity.
They step away from the monarch and the.
Yeah. Basically, he doesn't want to do royal. I think she wants to have her acting. Who knows? You know, you marry people, and then maybe the life isn't exactly what you think. Maybe being married to the sixth in line to the throne isn't all that exciting. Maybe it's better to have a movie. Well, that comes with a lot of responsibility. So, I mean, I don't think any of us in the outside world really knows what's going on. But the bottom line is that he's turned the whole monarchy upside down by saying, you know what? I don't know if I want this royal life. But the point is that maybe he would have never questioned it had he been with somebody else, and they would have just gone with the firm. And I think that's what happens in our lives. We meet people, or we have people in our lives, and hopefully you bring people around you who challenge your thinking and challenge your thought process, and maybe you can create something new and different that's better for both of you, or all of you, or however many there are in your family.
You know, I applaud him, Prince Harry. I don't think they'll be calling him that anymore, huh?
I don't know. I heard no Royal Highness. Or His Royal Highness, HRH. His and her Royal Highness.
Whatever.
That's a lot of stress. I'm sorry, it's a lot of stress being a royal. I couldn't imagine.
I can imagine, but I applaud him because, you know, it's like when you watch the movie, I don't know if you've ever seen this one, but this is like a cult classic, I'll call it that, Coming to America with back in the day with Eddie Murphy.
Back in Eddie Murphy, I love Coming to America. McDougal's. You got the golden arches. McDowell's, that's right. Did you know the golden arches? We have the golden something. I don't know what it was. I love Eddie Murphy.
What I loved about that movie was where he was royal, and they was having him pampered all his life, and he's like, I don't want that, and they had his bride already raised from birth to be his gal, and he's like, no, and then he begged his dad to let him come to America. For those of you who haven't seen the movie, I'm going to tell you, so he comes out here.
They're doing it too now.
Are they doing it too?
I think I've heard they're doing it too. Yeah.
I don't think there's no way you can top number one.
I'm with you.
You just can't. I mean, it's like, come on, just let it go. Let one be one and be done. Because
that's not happening anymore. Come on.
I know. People try to squeeze the juice out of these different movies with sequels, and it's like, just stop. Just stop. I've never seen the ones that was better. So, but anyway, he comes to America. He finds his bride in Queens, in New York, and she was the daughter of this guy who owned a place called McDowell's, which was a spinoff of McDonald's. And so he said, he would renounce his royalty for her, and to see that happen. And then you see Prince Harry. Fast forward to now.
But you think about your own life.
Those things, yeah.
But your own life. I think one of the things I love about being married to Joe, my husband, is that as a scientist, he's always questioning things, always questioning. And so that has really inspired me to question my behavior, question everything, and just say, hey, is there something new? Or, can I do this? Or maybe we have to renegotiate how things are working as you transition through life.
Yeah.
And he, obviously they're going through their transition. And I think it's hard or difficult to really see how that's going on until, it throws you off. And then you wake up. Good or bad, you wake up. There's going to be a day that you stop sleepwalking through life. There's a day that you're going to stop being in zombie land. And all of a sudden you're like, oh, I got to clean this up. Maybe this isn't working for me.
I agree. And at that time, it's like, once you become aware, are you willing to make the change? And I think in most cases, people are not. I mean, and I was just talking about this very subject the other day, that where it's not until the pain and discomfort of staying the same exceeds the fear of change, then you will actually change.
Yes.
Let me make that visual for you. So let's say the pain of you staying in this moment where it's very uncomfortable doing whatever it is that you do. Let's say that pain level is here, but then the fear of changing and the unknown of after the change is up here. You'll never change until this pain of discomfort being here exceeds that fear of the change. Now you'll start looking for a way to change. And so
but that's risk.
That is risk.
That's risk. And that is being fearful. That you talk about how you really shouldn't live your life from fear. I mean, I've parented from fear. I've done a lot of things from fear, right? Just because I didn't want things to replicate. But the reality is when you talk about that pain, it is going to throw you off. Or we've all been in a job or been in a relationship where we know something's not right, and then something forces us out. And it's almost better if we can start identifying it and either start fixing it, healing it, or move on from it. And I think that would be the best thing to do. Like for 2020, let's fix it and heal it or move on from it faster. Let's not stay back here. And I feel in this world right now, everybody wants to go back or stay in this place. It's like, that's unproductive.
I agree, guys.
Man, I've got a man who agrees with me.
Sometimes.
Wow.
All right, guys. Hey.
Definitely married when he says yes.
I got a statement, y'all. I got a statement I want to come over with. But it's going to be on the other side of this dance break, y'all. I want to really kind of point this point on. The thing that I think is the most powerful part of change. We'll talk about that on the other side of this dance break. So y'all stick with us. All right, shotgun. Miss Talkalicious. Come on, let's dance. Under the sheets for 2 ladies. Get up.
Oh, you're going deep.
Oh my gosh, guys, we're riding shotgun. Stop. Okay. My eyes, they get so excited, but I love them.
You have to.
So we ride shotgun with Mrs. Talkalicious. She's in the house, and I always love when she's here because she gives me the little butterflies because she be dropping them little nuggets, and she can hold her own. If you want to see more of her, she has a podcast called, just go to talkalicious.com, and you'll be able to see her stuff.
It's happy hour.
It's happy hour, and she has fun. She teeters on the edge a little bit, which I love that about her as well, too. Here's a few photos. If you're on Facebook, you're able to see these. If you're not on Facebook, then I'm sorry, you just can't see them.
Sorry, you're out. You don't need to look at it. It's okay.
Upgrade your spot. But I teased you on the other side of that break, and I said there's one specific thing about change that I want you to embrace as something. I'm going to invite you to consider embracing this as a model for yourself. Are you ready? Drum roll. That's enough.
Well, that was quick. That was the quickest drum roll.
I think
there was no drum solo there. That was it. We're done. We're out.
Here's the bridge drum roll.
Yeah.
I think that the type of change that can be that can accelerate your growth is what I like to call self-inflicted change. Let me explain. Now, unlike sometimes it takes you being fired to realize that you need to pay more attention to that side hustle, that was not planned. It's just pushed you. It's like that mother bird kicking that eagle out of the nest saying, you can fly, use your wing. Okay, same scenario. But I think, matter of fact, I know that you can accelerate that growth, not waiting for the push, but saying, wait a minute, I know I need to do this, fill in that blank as far as this goes. And now you thrust yourself into those spaces. I remember when I said yes to this space of speaking, it was scary, but I said, I need to do it. So I started calling up, first of all, telling people what it is that I do. It's how you define yourself that you start with. And then I start calling on the phone saying, hey, I'd love the opportunity to be able to do this. And so next thing you know, I started getting those platforms, and I knew they were scary, but I needed to go through that minefield and say, let me hone this skill and make it happen. So that was self-inflicted change. And that change has brought me and grown me into this guy that I am today. And I am a work in progress that's never to be completed. So I'm continuing to still grow. Not saying that I've arrived. I'm continuing to do that type of stuff. And so the self-inflicted part is really cool.
Well, the self-inflicted, but the other part is it's continuous. And I think a lot of times what happens is we know, maybe we don't even know that we need a change. We just don't feel right, whatever it is. And then we've, like you said, gone through, walking through, sleeping through, or zombie land, whatever, going through life. So I think that's a little bit harder. Maybe, I think something will eventually force you if you don't do it yourself. So you either do it or you get forced into it.
Right.
Whether we like it or not. Yeah.
I say preemptive. If you preemptively do that, it's like our country saying, hey, we think we're going to be attacked by these people. They're getting ready. Should we wait for that? Or should we preemptively go over there and abate that issue? And our country is almost always erring on the side of saying we're going to preemptively do something because they want to protect their freedoms and protect our hide, so to speak. Well, and so in life, such as life.
Well, and preemptive too doesn't mean that it's haphazard or off the cuff.
Right.
Preemptive means I've done some research, I'm looking for my next move, because life is a chess match.
That's right.
You're constantly playing your game and you're moving your pieces around.
Yeah.
And hopefully, as we age, we're becoming better and better at who we are, and we're giving more. And I think when you stop questioning your life, stop questioning your relationships, or stop questioning who you are, then you're not really growing. I think that's when you do sleepwalk through life.
I agree, guys. So suffice it to say is we want to challenge you in this new year. I have an event coming up this Saturday. We're going to be doing that. If you're from Bakersfield or if you're surrounding cities of Bakersfield, it's going to be at the Petroleum Club. I'm super excited about that event. You can only come if you've actually been on the show. And so we're kind of leaving it for that. Now, there's a little...
Wait a minute. Now, that just sounded like...
But there's a but here.
There's a but. I'll give you... You know what that sounds like? I'm having a birthday party. You can't come, but I'll show you pictures afterwards.
No,
I'm getting married, but you can't come.
There's a but. There's a but.
Because
here's what we're going to do. And I said, I wanted to bring this group of like-minded people together. And we're from eclectic mix, I'm telling you. We're all across the board. I wanted to bring them together so we could be able to create something that a synergy, because we all have our own individual energies, but when we bring it together, we have a synergy that creates, if there's 20 people in the group, we create a 21st mind or a 21st level of value that will be added to an audience that no one of us by ourselves could ever create it. Because I always like to say there's no one of us that's greater than the sum of us. So you bring the energy together, you create this energy, and I said this would be a nice place to do it. So we're going to be able to do that, and then we're going to shoot it. Here was the but you can watch it live, but as you slap the butt, But you can watch it live. We're going to be streaming live about 7 o'clock on the same platforms that you see right now, which is Instagram and Facebook. You can also catch it on the YouTube channel. And
so you are invited.
Stuff like that. So you are invited. We want you to be there. Now, as we get closer to that date, I tell you what, if you're watching this right now, you want to come to this event, I'm going to make some exceptions for some people who actually may have not been in the audience.
You're feeling like in the giving mood.
Yeah,
wow.
We're starting off.
It's not your Valentine's Day yet.
Direct message me, from Facebook or something, and let me know that how can I be at this event, and I'm gonna open the door for a few people.
Wow.
I thought that would be nice.
That is nice.
That. So
because he put it out there that he was having an event and you weren't invited.
Guys, my heart's out there.
He wants
it's
you
gonna
there.
be something special.
He wants you there.
And the reason why we do it is, again, I can't overstate this. It's not for any selfish reasons that we do it, although kind of, but mostly it's for selfless.
Debbie wants to come.
Debbie, where you at, Debbie? I want to come. Debbie,
join us.
Dear me, so we can make it happen. Guys, it's going to be a lot of fun again, and there's going to be some great nuggets. Bring a wheelbarrow if you're going to watch this thing, because the nuggets going to be raining down, doing their thing.
Might be too heavy.
Too heavy. It might be.
Carrie,
it's going to be good, though. It's going to be good.
Good stuff.
I can guarantee you that. Guys, I have this. And if you're just tuning in, this is Mrs. Talkalicious, also known as Christine Saldivar, and she is she has a little podcast. She has other stuff as well too, and she's a personality, and I just love her to pieces. I got a question that I know is going to be pivotal for you. But I hear that music. That means we got to go to a break. Our sponsors, and it's all good because we're coming back from there with a question I know that's going to be to bless your heart. So dance with us. It's time for a dance. Let's go. Hey, I see you there. I see y'all on Insta.
I'm sorry. You caught me.
See, this ain't the only place she got to go today.
No, it's not. I'm sorry. I am one of those people who her calendar fills up, but if it doesn't make it on my calendar, it doesn't happen.
I agree.
mean, that's just the way
you got a 50-50 chance if it don't make it on the calendar. Now, if it's on the calendar, you got 95% chance, because there's always that 5% that you just can't predict. And so that's just the way life works. And
so, this thing has been going off, and I'm like, am I missing something? Am I forgetting something?
Hey, Michael Mellon. I see you guys. Hey, Sean Robertson. Good to see you too. Debbie, hit me up, girl. I'd love for you to be a contributor on this particular deal coming up. Hugh Beatty, good to see you as well too. Let me see. Jennifer Edwards. Hey, welcome. Jim Neal and all of you. Terry Sheehy, Shanita Ford. Hey, girl. Lolo's in the house. Amen. And Sherry, what Sherry says? Please finish your sentence, Cedric. I finished. Wait. Okay. Hey, guys, if you're just joining us, you guys mean so much more than the world to me. Because you give me a platform and you give me an opportunity to be able to take stuff that I have in here, to be able to sow it into people like yourselves. And hopefully at the end of the day, you have something that you can walk away with that you says, hey, you know what? I'm a little bit better because I had a chance to tune in today and be able to grab one of those valuable nuggets that he was just dropping. So, because that's why we do it. Hey, Elizabeth, I see you, girl. She says, trying to be my best. I got you. It's so shame. No,
did I interrupt you?
Oh, I don't know. We just flowing. This is called organic engagement. So, but I am so happy that you guys have been able to join us today. Again, we got Mrs. Talkalicious that's in place. We want to kick off this 2020 vision with something that's super special for you to be able to see clearer. And you know what? Conversely, some people think that you need to zoom in order to see something better. I'll try this on for size.
Okay.
However, I think there's times where we need to zoom out to see the big picture in order to be able to decide what's the next step. What are your thoughts?
I actually think you have to spend more time in the bigger picture. So you know how you fit and how you work within the puzzle or the machine or the piece of it. Because I think if you focus too much on yourself, I think a lot of times with these all this about self-awareness and self-love and self-whatever. But when you start giving and realizing that you're part of something bigger, I think you're able to accomplish more and to give back more. So for me, it's like, for me, I'm more of a zoomed out person who's looking at the bigger picture and how and what I'm doing, life, work, you know, my family, you know, what should be the best or in the best interest of that bigger picture for me.
I'm going to applaud that. Applaud it.
You're so silly.
I know. I too. Now there's times that calls for me to zoom in to be able to be more detailed about something, but then there's times for me to zoom out to be able to say, let me see the big picture here. And if you're, I agree with you. I think if you're making decisions more from the bigger picture, because it's not, you just don't, I'm going to use this. Super success doesn't happen overnight. It comes in bits and pieces of behaviors along the way. It's not any one thing but in and of itself, by itself, that's going to make the difference. It's these particular daily disciplines or healthy habits or rituals that are going, habitual rituals. How about that one?
Oh, that's a good one.
Thank you. I'm trying. The habitual rituals over time that's going to be able to, I think I've heard it said this way, you don't eat an elephant in one bite, you eat it at one bite at a time. So when you talk about big picture, at the end of the day, you want the elephant gone, right? But now you got to take these steps to be able to get it done. Such is life as well too. It's like, okay, what are those things that we're going to do on a daily basis to be able to pull these things off? And so you scale back and you look at the big picture. It's hard to really see the picture when you're in the frame.
Yes. And I also think the other part too, you were saying, I have a son with ADHD, and then obviously going through the process with him, I figured get it from his mama. But, you know, I was telling him that there's a lot, when you're talking about habituals or the habits, I was telling him for me to be organized or for me to have certain things that I do doesn't lessen my creativity. It doesn't lessen my vision. It actually gives me more. And so, yeah, I'm not like a person that's like this, but my worlds are organized and I like to get up early. There's certain things I like to do, so I set myself up on the right path.
Yes.
So I think there's a difference, and I think that some people might think, oh, being habitual means I'm not spontaneous or I can't handle things. And I think actually by creating some of those healthy habits and those things on a daily basis actually gives you more in life, is what I think. For me, at least, it does for me. It allows me to accomplish, allows me to see, and it allows me to hopefully be a better person.
I agree. And here we go, full circle, where we're talking about how you wake up in the morning and sleepwalk through your day. Most people do. But that means that they're not living their lives with intentionality, as far as saying, hey, I'm going to do something specifically that I'm budgeting this in my time for the day because I know over time this is going to make me a better person, make me know better, do better, see better, be better.
And you can even schedule your Netflix time or your binge watching, because sometimes that's healing too. You know, understanding and knowing that we have to do those things, I think makes it better. And that's what I've been teaching my boys. Some days you just have to turn it off, but the other times you just get right back onto your schedule. So that way you can keep kind of moving and you're creating the life you want and not life creating you.
All right, ding, ding, ding.
Oh, that was a good one. That's another one. That one might be too smart. Where'd that come from?
Life just does not
get
created for you. I mean, it really is something that you have to create for yourself. Hey, Denise.
Hey, Denise.
Hi, Christine. I see you. She waved.
That's my sister-in-law.
Hey, girl. Okay, welcome, Christine. Hey, Zimmy. I see you as well, too. Let me see who else got. Tina, welcome. Hey, Hope. Good to see you, too, Hope. So many of you guys that's chiming in today. This is cool. I hope this is share-worthy for you. We've dropped some amazing nuggets up to this point. And, you know, talking about the importance of not just zooming in for clarity, but zooming out, also to be able to see clearer the big picture, and also the habitual rituals, and waking up in the morning, not just making your hair and making up your face, but also make up your mind that you're going to do something. In fact, when it comes to me, in fact, most of you know that I actually invest 2 days, Wednesdays and Saturdays, time that I have with my group home boys. I go over and I give them time, and they are challenging. My kids are easy. But my other kids, my group home boys, they are challenging. And so my prayer every time I'm going to see them is like, hey, don't make it easy for me. I'm not saying no, make it easy. No, make me better. prepare me for what's going to happen today. As far as, okay, I don't know. Maybe one's going to have a breakdown because you've been in this group home for 2 years. You think I'm lying, but that's true.
But they've had a lot of life happen to them.
Exactly.
And they have a lot more to overcome. And they're kids.
That's true.
They're kids.
They're
and
kids.
So, yeah, and how do we help them when they're going through their normal teenage angst and they're and very much where it's all very normal, but you know, I mean, I think a lot of us can say we're all damaged goods, really. I'm not just saying that, but they've been through a lot, and so they need a little bit more consideration, I think.
Oh, absolutely.
Because it is challenging. Just regular teenagers or the kids those age groups, you know, and then you take their life experiences that they shouldn't have seen, and so it's going to affect them, and they have to work even harder than anyone else to change their life, and they have to be able to change it when by the partners they choose, the friends they choose, the people who they choose to surround themselves with, and that is a challenge because that drain is constantly trying to suck you back into what you know, and it's really hard to change from what you don't know. Yes. And it doesn't feel good in the beginning because you don't know it. So, right. And that makes it uncomfortable. But knowing that you're on the right track, and they're kids, they're not going to know the right track yet. They just want to be cool and with their friends, and if they don't fit in, that's hard.
And that's why we need to be those adults that step in to say, hey, you know what? I can't go to an ATM machine and get $500 out if I never put $1 in. That's just silly. Same with our kids. We can't expect them to behave or act in certain ways without making deposits in their life. And who's going to do it? It's got to be us that says, hey, we're going to be able to do that. So I love being able to do it because the quid pro quo thing is, quid pro quo, is that I actually get better. I learn how to communicate better from just having them in my life and being able to have those opportunities to do that. So I count it all joy. And I count it as a blessing. Is every day like super fun and all this stuff? No, but I don't expect that to be the case. I need those days where it's like they're challenged or they're crying or they're depressed and stuff like that. Now it gives me the opportunity and the platform to be able to say, hey, this is how we deal with this. Or I need those days where they're trying to overcome some struggle or some adversity. And I say, no, buddy, here's what we do. Wake up, wake up, wake up. We pivot to the positive. And we don't drift to the negative, because negative drift is easy. You don't have to work at that.
Well, they know it.
Yes, they know
that.
It's comfortable for them.
So there's something that I've recently been working on with my boys and in my life in general. And I like this new wording. And instead of goals, it's expectations. I love that. So what I do especially with my teenagers and with myself too, what are my expectations from this? Because if you say goals, it makes it sound like you're reaching for something. But if you go, what are your expectations? That'll be based on your behavior and your decisions. And to me, that's a very different answer. Because what do you expect to get out of this? By the way you're acting, by the way you're talking, by the way you're handling this situation. What were your expectations from this? So not your goal, but your expectations.
So you're saying that expectation and results driven activities is important?
Can you imagine that?
Oh my Lord. The word of the day.
But I think
it's expectations, yes.
Well, but that makes sense. But if you think about it, it changes everything. Because if you ask anybody, you're like, what's your goal? What are your goals?
Yeah.
Who cares? What are your expectations based on what you're doing? You know, how are you going to get there? You know, I think it's just different. I think in our parenting world, in our regular world, your business world, what are our goals? You know, what are my expectations? If I'm doing this behavior, I'm performing this task, I'm getting this, what are my results that I'm expecting? And then if I'm not getting them, then you change them. But I think it's a different wording as opposed to what are your goals? Okay, I have goals. I want to make $1 million. Okay, but what am I doing today to make that? So
I agree.
Yeah, that's just something that I've started doing that this has been my new thing for this year. And I really I'm liking it because I actually get more results that way.
You know what, guys? I tell you, when we do this, we don't script this. This is just something that we come out and we go, bam! And it comes out. And so when we're talking about these things, it's expectations and results and such. I know you got to see some value in this. And so if this doesn't fire you up, you're dealing with some wet wood. So dry out your wood so you can get fired up. Guys, I am riding shotgun.
He's riding with his big old pencil.
Big old pencil right here. Taking some notes because I want to make sure that you guys get it. Expectations and results. And it's all these things that we do should be driven by the results that we see. That should be no like news bulletin. Right?
But it is because I don't think people realize it. If you're sleepwalking through life, what results are you getting? What are your expectations? You can't. You might have a goal, but you're actually not going to activate because you're not
And we need to be reminded of things like this here. I'm telling you, because you know, it's easy for you to forget that that's important, or that's the specific thing that you should be looking for. So again, this is just invitation only. This is inviting you to consider this type of notion. It's something that we've embraced for ourselves, and we've been able to see results in it as well too. And so, you know what it says, if one man can, so can another, and that includes women too. So, and everything in between. So we're gonna make sure I don't know where we're at with that. So
Yeah. All humans.
All humans.
All animals.
The animals, aliens.
If the dog can do it, you can do it too.
Guys, this has been one of those fun ones, as I've always kind of looked at it when I get her in the house. And if none other than, when we say brick, oh my goodness, this is a brick house right here.
Oh, this is an oldie.
It is a brick house. And when I say brick house, oh, let me explain this. People think 36, 24, 36, I want to win in hand. Guys, let me tell you, brick house. Brick house, we're going to flip that a little bit and twist it a little bit. Andrea Gephardt told me about this. And Andrea, if you're watching right now, thank you, girl. This is a great way to reframe brick house. Brick house is, have you equipped yourself and empowered yourself and put these tools in place so when the wind comes and the rain comes and all the external stuff comes, it won't knock you down. Are you a brick house?
3 Little Pigs.
Exactly.
Yeah, the one with the brick house.
So when you hear this song and people talk about brick house, I want you to pivot to this thought that, wait a minute.
Am I solid?
I'm a brick house.
Because I'm solid. I can't be thrown down.
You ain't got to be 36, 24, 36. You ain't got to be 36, 36 to have a winning hand in life. You just have to be equipped with the tools that allow for you to be able to be better today than you were yesterday.
I was saying you were given your hand.
Yes.
Now you play it.
You play your hand.
You play your hand.
It's not about the cards you dealt.
No, it's how you play your cards.
Where you can play them. And that's one of the things actually we're going to be sharing a little bit on this Saturday. Again, we got this big old thing jumping off on this Saturday at the Petroleum Club, where all my guests, not all of them can make it, but you know, a lot of them are going to be there, and we're going to be dropping some huge nuggets of value for you guys. I'm telling you, you'll be able to watch it at 7 o'clock in the p.m. Pacific Standard Time. It'll go from 7 to 9. We're going to be shooting live from there. We're going to take all our individual energies, bring them together as a synergy so we can deliver some quality nuggets to you guys. It's not going to go to your hips. It's going to go to your head and to your heart. Guaranteed to your money back.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Yes, it is. So on that day, mark your calendar. This Saturday, 7 o'clock. We're going to be going live, maybe 7-ish, you know what I'm saying? And we're going to be doing some stuff. And if you want to come, even though you haven't been on the show, hit me up in the DMs. You
just want people to slide into your DMs, don't
slide
you?
Into my DMs.
Just slide into his DMs.
I'm going to tell you.
I think that's how we met.
I'm going to have a few. That's
right. Our kids went to school
Joe
together.
at my door. Joe don't be at my door.
Get out of her DM.
Guys, this has been fun. We are right at 12:59, so 12. That's about an hour or so. I hope this is good for you because it was good for me. We went through a lot of stuff. Push the share button on this one. I don't know what you think. Share worthy?
Always. You're always share worthy. Come on. Yeah. Always share worthy.
Guys, I love it. This is my benchmark. Christine Saldivar, also known as Mrs. Talkalicious. Go to talkalicious.com. She has a happy hour that she does on a podcast from time to time. And she really drops some really cool nuggets over there and such. So I think you guys are going to be able to enjoy that as well, too. Share this out, or if you're just watching it, wait till it shuts down. Wait a few minutes, then go back and press the replay button. This is going to be something that's going to bless your heart because it blesses mine as well, too. I guarantee you, when I shut off, I'm going to do what I got to do, and then I'm going to go back and watch it, too, because I need to catch some nuggets. Okay?
Oh, here comes our man.
Oh, Bruno Mars. We was talking about him earlier.
I love him.
He's coming back to take us out, y'all. It's been one of them bad boys.
I love him. I have seen him. I love him.
Me too. Get up. Come on.
24 karat.
Thank you so much. She comes by and she sees me. It's all good. This ain't hey, it ain't over, y'all. You know, we're going to keep doing what we do and till we can't do it no more. So, again, this has been another live at 12:05, streaming live on Facebook and on Instagram. You see us upload later to YouTube channel and LinkedIn and the vlog, you know, all that stuff. So we got to make sure we hit as many platforms up as possible because we want you guys to be able to grab these nuggets. And more importantly, share it with somebody else if you think they can benefit from it. And I know they can benefit from it because it was good stuff, okay? All right, this is Mr. MakeItGreat.com saying, hey, we only get one shot at this life thing. Let's not make it good. Let's make it absolutely great. We'll catch y'all on the next one. Dance out with us right now. You ain't got to go home, but you got to get the heck up out of here. All right. Let's see if you guys make this. Hey, 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 hey.